What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got some major stuff going on here right now in our country that we'll catch you up on here, and also new $750 checks or $1,500 checks for married couples could be coming out here for millions of Americans. We'll be going over that here in this video as well. So if you're new to our channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos. I'll be keeping you up to date here on all new stories like this coming out forward as well. Also, thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. It helps our YouTube channel kind of grow, and so new people can find this channel as well and not miss out on the important stories. We're one of the only places to kind of get information like this. The mainstream news does not cover this and a lot of the stuff that we cover here. All right, let's jump right in. Here we go. Okay, President Biden and the White House have announced that they're going to start buying back oil. Remember that they had been selling millions of barrels of oil when gas was much, much higher than it is today. And they had sold oil at around $95 a barrel. And now they're going to start buying oil, actually $96 a barrel here. I'll show you here in a second. And here's what they're saying. The Biden administration said Friday it is buying 3 million barrels of oil to begin to replenish and start the process of replenishing the U.S. strategic reserves that officials drained earlier this year in a bid to stop gasoline prices from rising amid production cuts by OPEC and a ban on Russian oil imports. They withdrew 180 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve starting in March, bringing the stockpile to the lowest prices or lowest levels since the 1980s. The purchase to begin in January will start to replenish the reserves and is likely to be followed by additional purchases, officials said. The Energy Department called it a good deal for American taxpayers since the price will be lower than the $96 per barrel average the U.S. oil was sold for. Currently, oil is at about $74 a barrel for WTI crude, which is the type of crude I believe that they would be buying. So if they sold it at $96 a barrel, $74 a barrel would be significantly cheaper, about 20% cheaper. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. The theory would be that they sold it at a higher price when gas was much higher to help bring the cost of gas, diesel down. And then now when oil is cheaper, they can buy it back, similar to, sell a stock high, buy it when it's low, and it helped bring the cost of gas down, would be their kind of theory. You can see here the national average gas prices right now at about $3.15. A year ago, they were $3.31. So they are cheaper than they were a year ago. A week ago, they were $3.29 and a half, almost $3.30. So we have come down almost 15 cents here in a week. A month ago, they were $3.72. So we've come down quite a bit in even just the last month. We've gone 372 to 315 in just 1 month. That is pretty significant. Diesel's actually come down a lot here as well. We're at 478. A month ago, we were at 532. So we've gone from 532 to 478. Even if you don't buy a drop of diesel, it affects the price of food, the grocery store. It affects the price of everything you buy at the regular store, like Walmart. Everything has to be shipped via a diesel semi-truck for the most part. So that's a drop of 34, 54, like 56 cents there per gallon in 1 month. That's a pretty dramatic drop. Now, whether it'll continue is another story. We know that the price of gas and diesel can literally change by the day, by the hour even. So hopefully this will continue, but this is a very good trend to see. We know that there is, I think, around at least a dozen states or so that have gas under $3 in the $2-ish range. Let me know down below in the comments if you're able to get gas for $2 and some change. I have seen a lot of comments of people saying, "Yeah, Jimmy, I've been able to get gas for $2.50, $2.75, or something like that," which is very, very good. Specifically in the South and Southeast U.S., states like Texas, Florida, Georgia, all those states seem to be below $3, which is not bad. If you're able to get gas in the $2 range ish per gallon, that's very, very good, very, very good, especially today. Now, as the rest of the world tries to wean off of Russian gas and oil, as basically they're not buying Russian oil and gas pretty much most of the world here, a deal was reached for new non-Russian power sources for Europe as well. Yeah, the leaders of Hungary, Romania, and the country of Georgia, not the state of Georgia, and Azerbaijan finalized an agreement Saturday on an undersea electricity connector that could become a new power source for the European Union. Hopefully this one doesn't get attacked. Amid a crunch on the energy supplies caused by the war in Ukraine. The agreement involves a cable running beneath the Black Sea that would link Azerbaijan to Hungary via Georgia and Romania. The deal comes as Hungary, which has lobbied heavily against EU sanctions on Russia for its war in Ukraine. They're one of the few outliers that, for some reason, they're lobbying against that, is seeking additional sources for its fossil fuels to reduce its heavy dependence on Russian oil. That's probably the reason why, because they're so heavily dependent on Russian oil. They plan to export electricity from offshore wind farms to Europe via Georgia, a cable beneath the Black Sea, and then Romania and Hungary. The office of Romanian President Claus. I wonder if he's a friend of Santa. Said in a statement Friday that the agreement between the four nations will provide financial and technical framework for the project. Yeah, President Claus. Yes, I like that. Also, big story going on here right now. The father of the Highland Park parade shooting suspect has been charged with reckless conduct as the father signed on for him to get these weapons. Take a listen to this. And there was a lot of red flags before this. The son had a lot of issues. Take a listen to this.
The state's attorney in Lake County announcing charges now against the father of the Highland Park shooting suspect for signing his son's application for a gun license. You'll remember that this was the July 4th parade shooting that happened in a suburb of Chicago this past year. Listen to this news conference that happened right as we were walking in.
In this case, the system failed when Robert Cremo Jr. sponsored his son. He knew what he knew, and he signed the form anyway.
Robert Cremo Jr. is facing 7 counts of reckless conduct, which is 1 charge for each victim who died. The charges coming months after his son allegedly opened fire during that parade in North Chicago. 7 people killed, dozens of others hurt. Maggie Vespa is joining us now. And Maggie, I think people may remember that there had been questions about this even as early as some of the initial court proceedings for their son in this instance. The question that we talked about here on the show with legal experts and others was, would these parents face any liability here? And in this instance now, we are seeing that, at least for the father, that is going to be the case.
Exactly, Hallie. I mean, those questions came out within days of the shooting. You remember, police confirmed at the time, almost immediately after the shooting, that Robert Cremo III, the alleged shooter, had bought his guns legally after his dad had sponsored his firearm owner's ID card. And that was the action at the center of those questions. That happened, the sponsorship of that card, in December of 2019, 3 months after Illinois State Police said a family member reported that Cremo III, again, the alleged shooter, had a collection of knives and had been making threats. The quote that they used was that he threatened to, quote, kill everyone. But then police said they went to his house, and Cremo told officers again in 2019 that he didn't want to hurt anyone and there was no probable cause to arrest. We'll cut to 3 months later, December 2019. After that happens, his dad helps get him the legal right to buy a gun. It's important to note, again, the shooting didn't happen until, of course, 2022, 3 years after that. And the DA is not saying exactly that exact detail is why he's being charged now. He didn't want to lay out the case. Here's more of what he did say today.
Robert Cremo Jr., again, the father, took a reckless and unjustified risk. At the time he signed the application, his son was 19 and could not, let me say that again, could not get a FOID card, and because of that, could not legally purchase a firearm without his father's assistance in that application process.
And again, he's saying he knew what he knew, but the DA wouldn't lay out exactly what they believe the father knew that they think should have prevented him from taking that action and signing that application. So a little bit to be desired there, but we'll see that play out in the court case, obviously. The son now, by the way, facing, as we know, more than 100 felony counts tied to that shooting, and that includes 21 counts of first-degree murder, 3 for each of the 7 victims, Hallie.
Next steps, I assume that Cremo, the father, then goes for another hearing, and probably soon, right?
Yeah, he'll have a bond hearing tomorrow in Lake County, again, a northern suburb of Chicago. This after he turned himself in to Highland Park Police today. He could face 3 years in prison for each of the 7 counts, but the DA noted they would likely be served concurrently, meaning at the same time. And at this point, we do want to bring in a statement that we just got into our email from Cremo Jr.'s, again, the father's attorney. It's several paragraphs, but they call the charges baseless and unprecedented, saying this decision should alarm every single parent, going on to say that the DA is alleging that parents should know exactly what their, at the time, adult children are thinking. And then it finally wraps up by saying Mr. Cremo Jr. continues to sympathize and feel terrible for the individuals and family who were injured and lost. So again, at the first hearing in this case tomorrow, and we'll see how these charges play out. Hallie.
Now, you might be saying, well, how would the father know about this? Well, he would have known. Take a look. Authorities have previously said the accused shooter, Robert Cremo III, attempted suicide by machete in April 2019. So they would have been called to the house there. And September 2019 was accused by a family member of making threats to, quote, kill everyone. And they also, I believe, took a whole knife set from their house. And the father obviously was aware of all this stuff. Next up, if you've been watching my show, we know here that about 35 different states had state stimulus checks, inflation relief checks, property tax relief checks, all sorts of different checks like that this year. And we're already starting to see more of them announced or in the works here. I'm keeping you up to date here on all of this that I come across here, and we're already starting to see more. Take a look. Yeah, as you can see here, stimulus push. New Mexicans could see another round of $750 checks in 2023. And I think that we could see this for a lot of states in 2023 as well, because a lot of states still have a lot of state surplus money and budget surplus and even leftover stimulus money. So this could be a good trend, as we're already starting to see a lot of states announce this. But here's the details on this one. Taxpayers in New Mexico who received state-issued tax rebate checks this year might see another round of checks in the new year. Yeah, that's right. Governor Michelle Grisham, who is reported planning to push for legislation that would put another $750 in the pockets of qualifying individuals and $1,500 for couples who file jointly. Yeah, $1,500. That's a nice little check. or maybe a nice big check, maybe I should say here. The details of this here, Grisham spokesman Nora Myers Skacket wrote in an email here this week that details of the proposal for more rebate checks for New Mexicans continue to be hammered out, and that the governor will work closely with legislative leadership as the session approaches to finalize a potential package and keep more money in New Mexicans' pockets. Yeah, the news of additional rounds of tax rebate checks for qualifying New Mexicans in 2023 comes just a few days after New Mexico economists estimates that the government income from July 2023 to June 2024 would exceed current annual spending needs by $3.6 billion or 43%. Wow. $1 billion is 27% of this and is estimated $3.6 billion budget windfall. Yeah, and really this is the exact type of things or that exact type of details that we've seen in a lot of states, this is how exactly states come up with their inflation relief checks, their tax rebate checks, renter checks we've even seen. So I'll keep up to date here as more of these come out. We're already starting to see these announced here for 2023. Also, don't forget that we are giving away some cash here, thousands of dollars here in total. We gave away money here for October. For Halloween, we gave away several $1,000s here already. Here, we gave away money for what was it? Thanksgiving, and then now we're giving away more money here for Christmas and the Christmas holidays. Hanukkah and all these different holidays here. I'll have a trivia question for you guys in the next video as well. If you can guess it, you could win money directly from me. So make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll keep you up to date here with any new checks that might be coming out here. There's going to be a whole new slew of states and groups of people, and I'll keep you up to date here on all this. So don't forget to smash the like button and share button for us, and I'll keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Also, here's a video I did on Christmas stimulus checks that are going out to millions of Americans. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.